Hello, in this video I'll show you how to make hearty beef and vegetable stew. I add in about 1 tablespoon of butter to a sauce pot. Once the butter is melted, I add in about a pound of diced chuck roast. I cook the meat over medium-high heat until the edges are browned. The meat doesn't need to be cooked throughout because it'll continue cooking when we add it to the veggie stock later. Once the meat is browned, I remove it from the pot. Then I add another tablespoon of butter to the same pot. Once the butter has started melting, I add in 1 diced yellow onion. Then I add in 2 diced celery stalks. I'll be using canned carrots, but if you want to use fresh carrots, add them in with the celery and onion. Then I cook this over medium-high heat until the celery and onion is translucent. This will take 5 to 8 minutes, depending on how much you want to cook down the celery and onion. Once they're cooked down, I add in about 5 cloves of chopped garlic. I stir the garlic in with the celery and onions and let it cook for about a minute. Then I add in 3 tablespoons of tomato paste. I stir the tomato paste together and again let it cook for about a minute. Then I add in 1 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes and 4 cups of vegetable stock. I stir this together over medium heat and then add in 4 cups of beef broth. Next, I add in my seasonings. I add 3 bay leaves, a teaspoon of basil, a teaspoon of oregano, a half teaspoon of thyme, and about a half teaspoon of rosemary or to taste. Then I stir everything together and add back in our browned beef. I drop the heat to low and let this simmer while I dice potatoes. I add in 3 to 4 diced russet potatoes. I stir everything together and let it simmer for an additional 15 minutes before I add in any canned vegetables. I need the potatoes to cook and I don't want the canned vegetables to turn to mush, which is why I wait a little bit to add them in. After about 15 minutes, I add in canned vegetables of choice. I add in sweet peas, carrots, corn, and green beans. I stir everything together before adding in any salt and pepper. I wait to add the salt because canned vegetables can sometimes be quite salty and I want to make sure that I don't oversalt the stew. In this case, I added 3/4 teaspoon of salt and about a half teaspoon of fresh cracked black pepper. I give the stew a final stir and then cover it with a lid and let it simmer on low for an additional 10 to 15 minutes before serving. The stew tastes so great served fresh from the pot, and even better the next day as leftovers after all the seasonings and flavors have time to mesh together. Thanks for watching this video on how to make hearty beef and vegetable stew. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and as always, like and subscribe to see more content.